وأصحابه أجمعين. Before we continue our discussion of Surah Al-Insaan, I want to share with you an interesting part of the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam as it is narrated in Quran. And that part that you see in the middle of Surah Al-An'am. And you are familiar with these events where Ibrahim alayhi salam start interrogating the sun, the moon, the star. But what is interesting is that the way Quran presented it to us, that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, in his search for the truth, the driving force was that he saw that his people, including his own father, are going in the wrong direction. And Quran refers to that as dalal. So he said to his father, "Inni araka wa qawmaka fi dalalin mubin." This is the first really verse. Okay, so in other words, that Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam started noticing the anomalies of the system, if you like, or the way of life that is governing the life of his father and his people. And this is very interesting because the surah itself, Surah Al-An'am, started by saying, Alhamdulillahi alladhi khalaqa as-samawati wal-ard wa ja'ala adh-dhulumati wan-nur. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created. Thanks to Allah, praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who created heaven and earth, which is basically the universe. There was nothing. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the universe. But the surah is telling us also, the first verse, that the darkness preceded light. And today physicists understand that very well, that there was total darkness and then light appeared. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Remember that also darkness and light are used as metaphors for guidance versus non-guidance or misguidance. Is that right? And this is what, I mean, like even philosophers really talk about this, that it is, if there was no darkness, it is very difficult to realize light. You need the opposite. In other words, this is what they refer to it as resistance. By resistance, you realize the presence of objects. In other words, the light is really like struggling and resisting darkness. You see? And Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam noticed that, or his consciousness, his awareness of the need for guidance stemmed from the fact that he noticed the misguidance that has prevailed and affected his father and his people. Inni araka wa qawmaka fi dalalin mubin. Here Ibrahim alayhi salam started in his search. He needed guidance in his search. He resisted all these miniature gods, okay, the idols. He resisted the worshipping of the star or the sun or the moon, no matter how big they are. هذا أكبر. The sun is bigger than the moon. Okay? So it probably may deserve to be. Then it went away. And here you can see the awareness of Ibrahim alayhi salam of the need for guidance. You see, this consciousness did not happen in the human life right away. It took time from Adam to Ibrahim for human being, okay, to realize how important it is, or the need for the guidance. Okay, there a reference for the guidance also. لَإِن لَمْ يَهْدِنِي رَبِّي لَأَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الضَّالِّينَ. Again, okay, so he needs the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to save him, to help him to resist the darkness of misguidance. Make sense to you? And I am saying this because unless we realize how important it is, okay, and this is where the central theme of the surah, إِنَّا نَحْنُ نَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْقُرْآنَ تَنزِيلًا. This is the reference for you, for guidance. And don't think that it is going to be a smooth path, because there will be a lot of obstacles on the road. There will be a lot of people who will try to divert you from that reference for different reasons. Tradition, special interest. There are so many reasons why people may divert from the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what the Prophet, peace be upon him, needs in resisting these temptations, what does he require? Patience. فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ. And you see, فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ. You need the way, I mean the idea behind being patient, to steadfast, to stand up to these obstacles, to resist them, to stick to that commitment. You see, to the reference. The more you do that, okay, it's not going to work by nervousness or being mad or behaving like the others. You see what I mean? No, patience, okay, but فَاصْبِرْ لِحُكْمِ رَبِّكَ, to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had judged for you would be the best. And this is very interesting, my dear brothers, because you know the rein, like of the horse, okay? The horse rider use it for doing what?
Direction.
To give steering, is that right? Like your steering wheel, is that right? You came today to the masjid, is that right? So you have the idea of going to the masjid. This is your goal, is that right? Your destination is the masjid. And you know the way, the direction. If you are coming for the first time, you may use your GPS to guide you, okay, for the direction. But is it enough? Still you need to steer. Because you may have to go right sometimes you have to go left, sometimes you have to go straight. If you see a duck passing by, you may stop, you may change your direction. Is that right? So steering is not the same as directing. It's the movement, okay? The steering while you are moving. As long as these three are aligned, you are fine. Is that right? The direction or the goal, the direction and the steering to go there. Now, directing and the steering are functions of the mind. Don't think that the Prophet was really like sitting idle, not using. He has to make choices, but guided by something above his mind. Meta mind, if you like. Meta reason, if you like. The guidance coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is guiding. Imam Ali radiallahu anhu said it very beautifully. And you can, oh my God, a philosopher cannot say that. He said, اعقل عقلك. Even your mind requires something to direct it, to guide it. اعقل عقلك. Something above. It's like when you talk about, we all think, but sometimes you sit and start thinking about your thinking. Am I thinking right? Am I logical in my thinking? Are my premises right? Am I really like using biases? This is what we call metacognition. We all have the ability to use our brains and think. Is that right? This is cognition. But sometimes you may need something above that. So guidance coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I mentioned about, you know what this rein of the horse in Arabic? It's called al-hakam. Hakam, hukum are basically the same. Because you needed to steer, okay, to make sure that you are following the right direction that will lead you to your goal, to your destination. So, Quran is the reference because it is coming from Allah. Is that right? And you know that, I mean, when you follow it, it means that you are going in the direction towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But also, in addition to that, you need to steer. So the Prophet, peace be upon him, he did not just bring the book. You see, وَأَنزَلْنَا إِلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. How to put the book into implementation. Wisdom. In fact, wisdom today is used how to translate knowledge into practice. Is that into actions? Keep these in mind because they are going to help us, okay, in understanding and connecting the different units of the surah together and to formulate the different themes or recognize the different themes of the surah. So we recognize the central theme, which is the importance of guidance in our life, and the reference for guidance for humanity after Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is Quran. Inna nahnu nazzalna alayka al-Qur'ana tanzila. Be patient to all the temptations coming from others to sway you away from that guidance. Yes?
Besides patience, there are two other components that Allah Himself has mentioned. For instance, when He says, Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu, asbiru wa sabiru
warabitu. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
So we need the taqwa. And rabat is like I persist or what
exactly. To steadfast. Okay. Don't budge. This is because it is not easy, because of the temptations coming from all sides. Okay. Or sometimes from inside us. I mean, again, when you are really like driving, don't you are tempted many times to speed? But then you say, no, the speed limit is 35.
That's why we say, stay the course.
Stay the course. But because there's always, so as you are moving, how many times you are saying no? You see? You are resisting, okay, these temptations, okay? And that is really the original meaning of taqwa. You know how Imam Ali radiallahu anh explained it. You are like walking in the desert and there are a lot of thorns here and there. What are you going to do? How are you going to resist these thorns from harming you? He said, I will attaqi. I will really try my best to avoid saying no. You see, that's the whole idea. So the surah started by another theme that is really connected, because again, it talked about creation. But as we said, the creation and purpose go hand in hand. Is that right? So I am not created in vain. So I have a project, I have a mission. But in order to discharge or fulfill that mission, I need also the guidance so that I can reach my goal, my destination, my fulfillment of that project. Okay? And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminded us that you are created from a clot of blood. Nutfatin amshaj, but a drop of water. Is that right? But now you have become a human being. Don't equate yourself to that drop. You have transcended that situation. We have all transcended the dust. Yes, we are created from dust, but we are not dust anymore. Don't treat yourself as if you are still in that situation. Is that right? The same thing, we said, like, we eat fruits and vegetables, but initially they were really dirt, the soil. Is that right? But wallahi, every time I think about it, how come that these plants are capable really of transforming the dust, the soil, into these edible fruits and vegetables? Do you go and eat the dirt? And you say, no, I don't. I want to go to the origin. You see what I mean? Does it work? We will die if you go and eat the dirt. We will die.
You put the manure too, then.
I'm telling you. So in other words, you go to the highest, which is the fruit. That will be, and that fruit will really assimilate it in you and will make new cells. Is that right? I mean, these are facts. We cannot ignore them. But don't we think that they require a higher authority to give them that direction and how and the order to fulfill that job or that mission? So the human being, Allah immediately said, Nabtali, you are going to be challenged with good and bad. Nabtali, it goes for both. وَنَبْلُوكُمْ بِالشَّرِّ وَالْخَيْرِ فِتْنَةً, in order to test you. You see? So the Nabtali, so these are the challenges. The same way that Muhammad ﷺ was being challenged by Athiman aw Kafura. Okay, those who really try to stop the message, put obstacles in the face of the new message. So he has to equip himself with this high value of patience. So Nabtali, okay, again, how are we going to face these challenges? Are we capable of saying no to the prison of everything that may, whether it looks good or looks bad? In either case, you need to say no. But not to the thing itself, but the prison that may be created from that thing. I may be given wealth, but this is a good thing. It's not bad. Is that right? But it has the potential to become an idol, to become a prison. How I need to equip myself with the things that will help me to say no. At the end of the surah, again to show you, like this is 1 and 2, corresponds to them 27 and 28 to complement the theme of 1 and 2. نحن خلقناهم وشددنا أسرهم وإذا شئنا بدلنا أمثالهم تبديلا. You see, so again about the creation. And then number 3 to 9 talks about the guidance, not only by guiding us, not the guidance only for the direction, but also for the steering, how to navigate in order to reach your destination. You remember we said you need the direction, and the direction is determined by the goal. You came to the masjid. Which direction you took? You took the direction based on where you want to go. Is that right? But at the same time, as we said, you need to know how to steer. Read with me what corresponds to 3 and 9. He said, إِنَّ هَذِهِ تَذْكِرَةٌ. The guidance, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is calling it also, it is a reminder. The Prophet is a reminder. Quran is a reminder. The whole message is a reminder. إِنَّ هَذِهِ In other words, I am guiding you over and over again, so this will become part of your memory. Individual and collective memory. You remember all the time. And honestly, this is how I understand our own prayer. Why we have to pray 5 times? How many times people ask us this question? It's continuous reminder of the goal. Qibla. Every time you have to pray, the first thing you have to find your Qibla. So the concept of Qibla becomes part of you. So when you act in between the prayers, you are making sure that you are choosing your Qibla right all the time. And the Qibla is Allah. The same thing what happened with Ibrahim alayhi salam. The moment he realized that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator of this universe, and خلقني فهو يهدين. The fact that he created us immediately means that he also guides us. He did not created us without purpose, and how to fulfill that purpose. خلقني وهو الذي خلقني فهو الذي خلقني فهو يهديني. Shows me the path. You see the direction. He is the source of guidance for our direction. So we are making sure all the time that every action we take, its purpose is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What does that really mean? That you ask yourself, am I in this action fulfilling one or more of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which are His attributes? Simple situation. I got nervous at my wife or at my children. Then I ask myself, is this really the proper thing to do? Or no matter what it is, I have to be more patient. Nobody wrongs me. Shall I go and wrong that person, or أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ? Don't you like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you? What is the best way to make Allah forgive you is when you forgive others. Do you expand? Think about it. If I am not practicing forgiving, how I am expecting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive me? إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ, which means we are asking His help, His assistance, نَسْتَعِينُ. If I am not helping others, if I am not assisting others, if you spend all your life asking Allah to help you, the help will not come. You see, the best way for us to get the help from Allah if when we help others. This is what we need to instill. That is, it's not like just saying do this, don't do that, no. We need to understand, what are we doing? What is my goal? And how I am navigating in order to reach that.
So can I
yes, please.
Level where we're talking about the huda, the guidance and all that. I sometimes ask myself this question, that is it at the macro level, or do we have to like micromanage? You know what I'm trying to say? As long as you understand the broad philosophy,
yes,
you know, the broad guidelines. I think that should be the.
What I am trying to do, Brother Noor, is to demystify the things that remain at the level of the name of the concept. You see what I mean? We talk about hidayah or huda. We talk about taqwa. But I want these important concepts, because they are very loaded concepts, but how I can bring them down so that they mean something in my daily life. You see what I mean? So as we said, like when we talk about taqwa, we bring it down to the level of saying, okay, how you say no. Then it is easy to understand. It's like when, they use this example at the beginning, you are at 30,000 foot, like in the plane looking down. But then you go down to 3,000 and then to 300 before you land. Is that right? So landing, is really what you do, on daily basis. The application itself. So, I'm trying to show that these concepts are not fluffy, that's just there and just like to color our talks and you see what and our conversations. You mentioned 7 times the word hidayah and 20 times the word taqwa, but what is the value of these concepts again when we land, when we are moving? And I will show you. How? Because the verse said, فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. Whoever wants, wills. It is our choice. This is the autonomy of the human being. It's not forced on us. It's not micromanaging. But we have to make that decision. This is why I said directing and the steering are functions of the brain, of the human mind. Make sense? I have to make that decision that Allah is my qibla. And I have to make the decision how to go. I may say Allah is my qibla, but I may take something, another direction that doesn't lead to Allah, doesn't lead to the realization of one or more of His beautiful names. Make sense? But at the same time, Quran does not only provide us with knowledge at the intellectual level, but also how to steer. Read with me in this theme in 3 to 9, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّا أَعْتَدْنَا لِلْكَافِرِينَ سَلَاسِلَ وَأَغْلَالًا وَسَعِيرًا. In a brief sentence about this small sliver in society, those who really rejecting and denying the truth, they may know it but covering it up. This is al-kafiri. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, saying because they have lived in their life imprisoned in their own ideas, in their own idols. Okay? This is what they will see in the day of judgment. سلاسل وأغلالا وسعيرا. Chains and shackles. Because they were shackled and chaining themselves in this life. Because really, kufr, my dear brothers and sisters, when you hit the wall, it's death. قتل الإنسان ما أكفره. You are done. You stop the journey. This is the whole idea. How many times you said that the journey is ongoing and has to remain ongoing towards Allah? This is our life. It's a trip, it's a journey towards Allah. Is that right? وَإِنَّ إِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ الْمُنْتَهَى. We are going back to Him. He created us, okay? And we are going back to Him. إِلَيْهِ الْمَصِيرِ. How many times? إِنَّ لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّ إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Especially we remember it when we see somebody who has passed on. We remember, this is the fate of every human being, of every creature in this existence. Is that right?
By purpose of the creation, you either good or bad, you're going to reach that.
Exactly. So this is, we all agree upon that all like men are mortal. We are all going to leave. So the idea on the other side, إن الأبرار, the righteous people, يشربون من كأس كان مزاجها كافورا. Again, this is here. There is a metaphor. Quran is talking about يشربون. They are drinking from a very purified, very well made type of drink. But also you can think about it, the flow of knowledge. Knowledge like a fountain. Again, that will be reflected in the day of judgment. Remember what we said in Surah Al-Jinn about its main and central theme. وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا عَلَى الطَّرِيقَةِ لَأَسْقَيْنَاهُمْ مَاءً غَدَقًا. If they stay on the path, on the straight path, on the right path, وَأَن لَوْ اسْتَقَامُوا عَلَى الطَّرِيقَةِ لَأَسْقَيْنَاهُمْ مَاءً غَدَقًا. We would have made them drink a very purified type of water. But again, this is a metaphor that which means happiness, content, okay? Because this is how we feel when we are surrounded by beautiful fountains and rivers and you drink like a very satisfying type of, this is how you feel. And so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that is the reward. This is the consequence of following the right path. عَيْنًا يَشْرَبُ بِهَا عِبَادُ اللَّهِ يُفَجِّرُونَهَا تَفْجِيرًا. It's like a fountain, but the water is like exploding from it continuously. Okay? I'm sorry? Gushing out. Exactly. Gushing out, which means richness. It's not like flowing like in a very a sluggish way or trickling or something. No. It is gushing out. It's full of life. And so that's here. Quran is telling us how to steer, how to reach that. Who are these abrar? This is the most important thing. You see how to reach that level. يوفون بالنذر وَيَخَافُونَ يَوْمًا كَانَ شَرُّهُ مُسْتَطِيرًا. They respect their vows. The vow is like something when you say to yourself, if I pass this exam, I will feed 10 needy people. This is another way, and this has been practiced before even Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But because it is a good habit, it's a good practice, Because it is a win-win situation. Because when you vow to do something, it means that you are very serious about it. You want to pass that exam. You are not going to pass that exam and you don't study. But it will become also a good incentive for you to work towards that objective. يوفون بالنذر, and they ويخافون يوما, they are always making themselves accountable. What does it really mean that they are concerned and afraid of the day of judgment? It is a day of judgment. So they feel accountable all the time. وَيُطْعِمُونَ الطَّعَامَ عَلَى حُبِّهِ مِسْكِينًا وَيَتِيمًا وَأَسِيرًا. And they feed those who are in need. Although they may like that food or whatever they are giving to others, despite the fact they like it, but they liberate themselves from it. They have the capacity to say no even to the things that they like, so that they can offer it to others who are really in need. You see the idea of, it's good to have something, but don't be imprisoned. The way to liberate yourself is to give out, to share with others. And Quran here talks about miskin, like the needy, yatima, the orphan, wa asira, the captives. It's amazing. You have to imagine you have let us say, a prisoner of war, and you are really, people are coming, say, I am giving this charity to this. I mean, a prisoner, he has done something wrong. A captive, forget about war. In our, civil life, there are prisoners. But are we treating them in a way so that and to me, it becomes a method of rehabilitation, because you are showing that person a model that they have the capacity. Because if you think about it, most of the criminals, there is always something they have against the society. I'm not justifying, and nobody is justifying what they have done. But when we understand what is the incentive, or what is the driving force for all these bad acts, the best way is to show the other side. Unfortunately, when people go to the prison, they are mistreated most of the time, to the point sometimes some of them are patients. They need medications and they don't get the right, care that they still, this is a human being. Yes, he did something wrong, but there should be a way to rehabilitate.
Gain back.
How to bring them back, because it is very difficult. Even when they are released, they don't know how to live. And we know that.
All these examples is based on people who are basically left alone, like they are put aside.
Yeah, disenfranchised, marginalized in the society, yes. Bring them back.
Bring them back.
Yes.
They just giving them something and saying, stay there where you are. I think that's not enough. I think you have to give them enough, empower them enough that they can come back and be an excellent.
Whoever among you is really interested, Foucault is a celebrated really philosopher, wrote a very interesting book about the history of prisons and the history of punishment, how punishment changed over time. And really he came because humanity has developed and accumulated a lot of data, experience, and now we are in a better position to make decisions on our own and solve our problems on our own. And the way I see it personally, remember, and Quran shared with us these stories when people used to make big sins and big wrongdoings, and how they were punished. The punishment was severe, and to the point that a whole town can be destroyed or something. But that did not continue. You see, later on, the human being was given more a chance to solve, because now they have that ability, that experience to solve their own problems. And they know now how to steer better. Is that right? So this is why I'm saying, Quran is helping us also how to steer, how to bring someone back. The best way is to show them. And that philosopher Foucault reached a very interesting thing, similar to what Ibn Khaldun used to say about al-wazi'u lahu min nafsi. You need to create in that person the ability of policing themselves from inside. This is the best way. It's not that they are going to do this or that, or they are not going to do it because they are afraid of the police from the outside. It's better. The police is not with you all the time. This is the conscience that we are talking about. This is the taqwa that we are talking about. How that no is coming from inside. Is that right? This is the highest level that you can reach in the society. This is why the society of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the society that was nurtured under the eyes of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they did not have a policeman. I haven't seen no prisons. Isn't amazing? It's a state. At the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, really United Arabia, it has become a state, but there is no policeman.
Because of the institutions he developed, that's, I think Brother Shakir was very much right. Feeding, it's not like give them.
Yeah.
Try to, now we are at the stage where we should make the institutions where they should be empowered to have, give them education or whatever.
Yes.
So that they should not be waiting for the food every day.
Yeah. There is another interesting book. I'm not able to remember. The title, but it was the thesis of that book is about the imbalance in the society, and he would enumerate so many parameters with lot of graphs showing how different countries fare in terms of these different parameters. And one of them, how to treat your own prisoners. And you can see the difference between countries who have really better life for their citizens compared to the societies where they mistreat. Definitely it's but this is one of the different parameters. But it is very interesting that how the imbalance in the society, when you have disparity in the society, is really the result of it may affect every aspect in your life. Your economy, the social aspects, the different, how many times people visit each other, how they helping each, you see, to the point how to treat even the wrongdoers really in the society, who are captives, who are really inmates and the prisoners.
Many Scandinavian countries have developed.
This is where I want to reach. That there are countries who had showed that good models.
Yeah, so in Germany, I think
The same thing.
there was 60 minutes they were comparing. They can go out, they can do shopping, they can come back. And people from United States, some officers, would believe it that this can be done.
And they come out with more vices than what they went in with. You see, I mean, and they became worse. And they are divided there into gangs, into like different groups fighting each other. Let alone, I mean, mentioning our other really vices that can be, I mean, but I'm again trying like to show you that it is possible. Okay, but this is how, again, when we land, what we need to do. Okay, how to translate this concept that we call taqwa into this, to that level, okay, at the level of action and the practice. إنما نطعمكم لوجه الله لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. If Allah is our qibla, we want to thank Him, and the way we thank Him is really like to treat you this way, and we are not expecting from you any gratitude. لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا. We are not asking for any reward from, even thank you we are not expecting. So you see the level, okay? Is it really in the direction of Allah? سبيل الله فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا. اتخذ, it means that you have to take a decision. اتخذ, to make a decision about going through that path that leads to Allah. اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا. So اتخذ is really to make it, to say my value, my idea is to realize the name of Allah Ash-Shakur. You see what I mean? What is the way to reach that? يطعمون الطعام على حبه يوفون بالنذر. You see, these are the actions that will show. اعملوا آل داود. By action. This is how you act. How you are going to assist and help others, share with others. Even if that person is a captive, a seer. Unfortunately, it was put in the minds of people that even the prisoner of war you can kill, or you can make them like slaves, or and Quran, there is nothing like that. Either you leave them go alone free, okay, or you ransom them. And how was the way Muhammad ﷺ used to ransom the prisoners of war? Teaching. You see, so in other words, Muhammad ﷺ was conscious about the importance of writing and reading and writing, because he is bringing a book that needs to be documented as it is revealed and to be read all the time. Iqra. Is that right? So how Muhammad ﷺ was taking the advantage of every situation that will increase the level of literacy in his community. You see, this is again, Muhammad ﷺ is showing us how to steer. Directing is not the same as steering, because as you are going in your direction, there will be a lot of challenges, and if you don't know how to steer, you will not reach your goal. Think about the person surfing the waves. He knows that this is the part of the shore I am going to. This is my goal. And he knows how to reach but on the way he has to navigate through these waves. Is that right? If he doesn't know how to steer, these waves are uncontrolled. It's not under his control. He is only he can control only himself. How to steer. If he makes a mistake, he may reach the shore, but not the same part of the shore he wants, because somebody may come and pick that person and take him to the hospital, which is another side of the shore, but has not reached his destination. Please remember these three factors. Wallahi, that makes our life easier. You need a goal. This is why Salat is reminding us every day, 5 times, you have to set a goal for yourself. This is the meaning of Qibla. Is that right? So, and the direction. You need to know how to go. اتخذ إلى ربه سبيلا. Even al-jinn themselves, who were created before us, from a different origin. They are not from dust, they are from fire, energy. Probably energy preceded particles. Is that right? So even them, they realize about Quran. يهدي إلى الحق وإلى طريق مستقيم. Give the direction towards that truth. Allah is the truth. وَإِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ. You need to know also the path that will take you towards your goal. And this is how you move and you steer in order to reach. إِنَّا نَخَافُ مِنْ رَبِّنَا يَوْمًا عَبُوسًا قَمْطَرِيرًا فَوَقَاهُمُ اللَّهُ شَرَّ ذَلِكَ الْيَوْمِ وَلَقَّاهُمْ نَضْرَةً وَسُرُورًا وَجَزَاهُمْ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَنَّةً وَحَرِيرًا مُتَّكِئِينَ فِيهَا عَلَى الْأَرَائِكِ لَا يَرَوْنَ فِيهَا شَمْسًا وَلَا زَمْهَرِيرًا. This is the reward. Okay, that if because they do all these things, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are afraid about the day of judgment. He relieved them from that fear. And instead, He rewarded them with the paradise. It's a very, another environment. Okay, for the believers to achieve probably a higher objective, a higher goal. Because it is another creation, and with the creation comes purpose. Don't take it just like, oh, we are going to be there, relax and eat and drink. This is the simplest thing. This is the environment that will allow you to achieve a higher objective. I don't know what is that objective. I know what is my objective here in this life. But for the next life, I am sure there is a higher objective. Am I preparing myself well to receive the new mission in that bigger life? And I know some glimpses of it. I will be given everything. This is like when you go to a conference. They feed you, they give you lodging and everything. But the objective, not like to make you like relaxed. This not, you are not going like on vacation, but in order really to benefit most from the conference itself, to satisfy the objective of that conference. So in other words, don't think about the other things, how to feed yourself, where you are going to say. We will take care of that. Bring me just your brain, all right, with the clear objective, with the clear direction, and now how to steer to reach that. Make sense? Okay, thank you very much. So we'll stop here.
Dr. Khayr,
Yeah.
like when you said the hakim,
Yeah.
you need a hakim for that.
Yes.
And if Allah hakim for that, you will never be.
أحكم الحاكمين. You need a governor for your daily life, okay? But Allah definitely is the best. But that being the best doesn't mean that there are not others who are given the hikmah to govern, given the hikmah to lead, to rule. You see, that's what is really missing today. Not that we don't have people who have good attributes to lead, but do they have the wisdom? How to help people steer safely to reach safely their objectives. Yes?
Would the non-believers
in number 9,
Yeah.
the characteristic people, they never look for what they can get.
Yes.
For just internal, the second nature. Or
Yeah, exactly. And remember that in the first couple, number 3, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, إِنَّا هَدَيْنَاهُ السَّبِيلَ إِمَّا شَاكِرًا وَإِمَّا كَفُورًا. Shakiran, grateful. But how to be grateful to Allah is by helping others without asking them for any gratitude. Which means that your work is purely, what does that really mean? It means you are blind to the person that you are helping. Doesn't matter. You are helping a man versus a woman, or a believer, or you are not judging that person. You are just helping. And that's why I always challenge my brothers and sisters, especially when they talk about going to the soup kitchen. Okay? Yes, it is good like to serve the food to the needy, but I challenge them all the time. Are you willing to sit down and eat on the same table with that person? Let us challenge ourselves. And this is the way to show that you are really doing it for Allah. Because you are not differentiating. Who is that? I don't care who is sitting beside me on that table. Poor, rich, needy, relax. Doesn't matter. You are not judging that person. You are just want to help. And this was really the practice of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and his legacy was taken by his own family. Ali and Hassan and Hussein, they kept sitting with the Ahlul Suffa, who are in our days language are really the homeless. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam made his own house the shelter for these people, and he will sit down with them and eat. His son-in-law saw that and acquired that practice. His grandchildren, Hassan and Hussein, continued that legacy. You see, that what we need to that is really لا نريد منكم جزاء ولا شكورا. Many times we think about helping. Oh, what am I going to get back from that person? Let me help that person. It's probably better than, because I will get more. Again, here where we need to say no.
Iqbal says,
yes.
है अमल जो बेगरज उसकी जज़ा कुछ और है. The action which is without any reward, jaza will be very
high. This is why Quran said, فَجَزَاهُمُ اللَّهُ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَنَّةً وَحَرِيرًا. More than what people thanking
I think this is
them.
In
yes, no question. You can tell immediately how Quran guided Iqbal. And he was able to put this guidance in his own words. Beautiful words. Thank you very much. Jazakumullahu khairan.